guys, welcome back to Favourites Francesca. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 favourite thriller books ever. This has been such a hard video to do because I've read so many thrillers over the last couple of years, maybe like 100 to 150. So to whittle it down to the top 5 has been like nearly impossible, but I've done it and I'm going to share it with you now. Here we go. Okay, so coming in at number 5 is The Pact by Sharon Bolton. This is one of the most underrated books I have ever seen because nobody at all talks about this book. Also, I feel like Sharon Bolton is such a slept-on author. Like, why is no one talking about her? She's amazing. The Pact is about a group of 6 friends. They're quite like a dareish group. They've just left high school and they keep like challenging each other to do like these really stupid things. But naturally they continue to do them because they're kids. But one day they all get caught up in like this dare about driving the car the wrong way on the motorway. It's really intense and all of them are in the car when it happens. However, instead of them all going to jail, they make this deal where one of the friends, Megan, takes the complete fall, goes to jail. She goes for 20 years on the promise that when she comes out, she has a favour from every single one of the friends, no questions asked, and they have to do it. So that's the premise of the book. That all happens within the first few pages, and then when she gets out, it's like the journey of all these favours that she's asking, and the other friends are like, she can't be real with these favours, but it gets really intense really quickly, and this definitely kept me gripped. Coming in at number 4 is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. So I'm actually not a huge fan of some of Frida's other books, but this one is just an absolute standout and definitely deserves a spot at number 4. So in this book, a woman has just come out of jail. She's desperately trying to find a job and she can't seem to find one, but she finally found a live-in housemaid job with this really wealthy family, and she's just like over the moon. So she goes in to start this job and she goes up, it's like a live-in position. So she goes to her new room and she finds that it locks only from the outside. And there's been a few suspicious things happening in the journey for her to get this job. So she's now like, what is going to happen? It's quite hard to say any more than that without spoiling it because the spoilers kind of start quite early in the book, like the twists and everything that's going on, but it's an absolutely fantastic book, really recommend it. So the next book I don't have a physical copy of, so I'll just pop the cover up here, but it is What Lies Between Us by John Mars. He's one of my absolute favourite authors. I've only recently found him the last few months and I love his books. So in this book, a woman has her elderly mum chained up in the attic of like their massive house, and you're thinking like, how will the book even develop into a place where this is acceptable? But you get there. So it's told from both Maggie and Nina's point of view, so you get like both sides of the story. It's super gripping, and yeah, definitely my number 3 read. So coming in at number 2 is Verity by Colleen Hoover. So despite the fact that Colleen Hoover normally does just write romance, this is an absolute knockout. Some people class it as like a romantic thriller, but it really only borders on the side of romance, definitely sits in the thriller genre for me. So this book centres around a woman called Lowen, who is a writer. She's like a struggling writer, and one day she gets scouted to ghostwrite the rest of a series by Verity. So Verity has been in an accident, she's paralysed, and Lowen's then hired to finish off the series for her so the rest of the world can like enjoy the rest of her work. However, Lowen has to go and move in with Verity and her husband and her child, so she can like get into the right headspace. All the work's already at the house, so it makes the most sense for her to just go and live there. But weird things start happening. Understandably, Lowen is then close to Jeremy, Verity's wife, because they're the only like adults in this house and it's a really long project. But things just start to get so weird so quickly. I probably would check trigger warnings for this, especially things to do with child abuse, child neglect, etc. However, it's a fantastic book. It's so good, it's so gripping, and it's such a quick read. I literally read it in a night, and I would always recommend this book. And my top favourite thriller of all time, which is such a statement, is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. In my eyes, this author can do absolutely no wrong. I've also read his second book and it was equally as amazing for me, but this one it just clinched it because it was his debut. My copy of this book is actually damaged because of how many times I've read it and how many times I've filmed videos with it and how many times I've like just talked about it or held it or read it or yeah. So what happens in this book is a somewhat famous painter, Alicia, she's found having shot her husband. He's completely unalived and she's just stood next to him and she doesn't say another word. That's it. She's just not spoke since it's happened. So she's placed in psychiatric care instead of being sent to jail because of all this not speaking and all the like mental health issues surrounding the situation. So then psychiatrist Theo is absolutely adamant he's going to get to the bottom of why she's not speaking. I feel like there's so many like little hidden Easter eggs at the start of this book which give you like intel into the rest of it, but you would never ever spot them if like it's your first time reading or you didn't know what you were looking for. But this book is absolutely amazing. Everyone talks about the final twist at the end. end, but honestly is unmatched. I've never read a book where I've been so surprised with the ending, but it also makes sense. So some books you read, like you read the twist at the end and you're like, it just makes no sense, like it's ruined the book. This is just absolutely perfect. It's just a perfect level of twist. The rest of the book's brilliant as well. The only thing I will say is, since I have read this a couple of years ago, there's been some comments about how the mental health representation is really poor in this book. So I won't comment on that, but be mindful of that if you're going to read it. So those are the top 5 thriller books I've ever read. It's been a journey to get to this absolutely amazing set of books, but do let me know in the comments which has been your favourite thriller that you've ever read, because I need more recommendations. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It just means that everyone can enjoy these book recommendations and we can all talk about thriller books together. And also then in the future, you can get more recommendations coming your way.